Are you thinking about leaving the hustle and bustle of New York and migrating down here to sunny South Florida? Well, you're not alone. And in today's video, we're going to be covering the pros and cons of relocating to Florida from New York. We're going to be going over why so many people are making the move and help you decide whether or not it's the right move for you and for your family. So stick around for some valuable insights and some pro tips. All right, let's start with some numbers. Did you know that in 2024 alone, over 65,000 people migrated from New York down here to South Florida, making South Florida one of the top destinations for all New Yorkers to choose for relocation or retirement. So what's driving this massive trend down here? Well, I can think of three things off the top of my head, but we're going to cover top 10 topics with pros and cons for each. So let's get into it. Hey, welcome to my channel, Living in South Florida. My name is Vinny, your South Florida realtor, and I appreciate you stopping by. Today's video is all about the pros and cons of relocating from New York down here to South Florida. And I just want to start off with a few facts. You know, in 2024 alone, over 65,000 people had made the migration from New York to South Florida. And this has been trending upward year over year for quite some time now. A lot of people are wondering, you know, why the mass migration and why so many people are choosing it. And off the top of my head, I know that, you know, lower taxes, more affordable housing, and a better lifestyle down here because of our sunshine are three top reasons. And in today's video, I'm going to get into the pros and cons of about 10 different topics. So let's go ahead and let's get into it. All right, so here are the pros and cons of community and social connections. Now, everybody knows that Florida has many thriving and vibrant communities, but we generally cater to three different age groups, right? We cater to the retirees, those that have had long careers. They've either sold their business or they've retired from a big company and they're taking their 401k, they're cashing out, or they're going to take annual dividends and they want to live down here for a more comfortable lifestyle. Then we have the young couples with children, and they want a better environment for their children to be raised. They want better weather so that they can play year-round sports and they can have more opportunities than they would up in New York. Then we have the young professionals, fresh out of college, or entrepreneurs that want to start a business, and they're moving here for the opportunity to start a business and to get things rolling. And while those are some really good pros, the cons to moving down here, whether you're a retiree, whether you're a young couple with some kids, or you're just starting out on your entrepreneurial career, the fact that you're going to be away from home, you're going to be away from all of your friends, and you're going to be disconnected could cause you to feel a little lonely, could cause you to feel a little bit isolated. And so what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to come down, you're going to have to find some groups of people in order to get connected to, because if you don't, then what will end up happening is you'll miss home, you'll probably end up moving back, and then you'll miss out on all the amazing things that Florida really has to offer. All right, moving up to number 9, recreation and activities. You know, Florida has over 1,350 miles of coastline. We have over 175 state parks, and this all offers you plenty of opportunity to get out of the house and to enjoy many activities as snorkeling and scuba diving, surfing, kite surfing, kayaking, paddleboarding, you know, getting out and being able to enjoy hiking trails, running and jogging. All kinds of year-round sports for the kids as well are fantastic. And the cons to our beautiful weather is that in the summertime, it gets ridiculously hot. It can get over 100 degrees, and then with the humidity, because we are a peninsula, we are very close to the equator, then the heat can feel that much hotter. So that's definitely a con to the outside activities that we offer here in our beautiful state. All right, let's talk a little bit about our schools and our education systems and the differences. We'll give you some pros and cons to that. Florida has over 700 different kinds of magnet schools and also charter schools. We're ranked in the top 20 of school systems across the nation. Some people have us ranked as number 1. Some people have us ranked 29th. It just depends on what statistics that you're looking for. If you're looking for lower class sizes and higher test grades, we test higher than New York. We test better. Also, when it comes to secondary education, we have many different colleges that are fantastic, both private and public. The cons to the Florida education system is that it ranks 29th in the nation, and that's pretty low compared to New York. And so if you're looking for education in the K through 12 age groups, then you're definitely going to want to look into the charter schools or the magnet schools, depending on what your kids want to do. All right, let's talk about transportation. You know, transportation in Florida, and the pros to transportation in Florida are that, you know, you have your own car and it's not that expensive to have your own car. Once you pay the initial registration and you get your plate fee out of the way, it's relatively inexpensive to register your car year after year. Whereas in New York, if you own your own car, it can be costly, up to 18%, and cost hundreds of dollars per month to store it, especially if you're living in Manhattan. Here, in order to store your car, you're going to have it in your garage, or you're going to have it in your driveway, or even on the street in front of your home. So you don't really have to worry about paying for a monthly storage fee in order to park your car. The thing about public transportation that's better about New York than Florida is that our public transportation pales in comparison. Up in New York, you have your subways, as well as you have the buses, and you also have cabs. Down here, you don't have near as much public transportation as you do up there. So that can definitely be a con in the transportation realm. All right, so that brings us to number 6 on our list, which is healthcare. Now, the pros and cons to healthcare down here in Florida versus New York are that we have great facilities like the Mayo Clinic, Tampa General Hospital, University of Florida Health, Baptist Health, and Baptist Health down in Miami. We have the Morton plant, we have Sarasota Memorial, Cleveland Clinic in Weston, and many other amazing facilities for you to help you with any healthcare needs that you have. Now, the con is going to be access to these facilities if you're living in a rural area. So you have to make sure that you plan accordingly, and if you have any kind of special needs, or if you need any special care, that you live close by one of these facilities, so that way you can make sure that you get the care that you need. All right, number 5 on the list are the pros and cons of taxes. Now, everybody knows that Florida has no state income tax compared to New York's either 4 to 10% income tax, depending on, you know, how much money you actually earn. That is a huge pro for somebody who's making $1 million a year or more, or even the lesser earners, somebody who's making, you know, $150,000 to $200,000 a year. Paying a state income tax can be brutal. Now, the con to having no state income tax and having that taxation come in is the fact that we have a higher sales tax. And so on average, we are about 8% across the board if you just averaged it out for all of our sales tax, and that's on goods and services and usage fees and all of that. So it's definitely more expensive. If you're not used to a sales tax on everything that you buy or that you use, then that's going to definitely be a con for you when you move down here to Florida. All right, so number 4 on my list is lifestyle and culture, the pros and cons of relocating down here. You know, as far as lifestyle is concerned, Florida has over 230 days every single year of sunshine. So our lifestyle is very laid back and enjoyable. We have a beachy vibe in almost every single coastal town, and even inland you can feel it as well. Now, the thing that you're going to miss, and the con of living down here in Florida, is that we don't have the culture that you have up there, where 38% of your population is built up of foreigners. So the different kinds of foods that are offered, as well as the fast-paced lifestyle, may be something that you miss if you make your move down here. All right, let's talk about the pros and cons of the job market. Now, Florida has seen a 5.2% growth in job rate over the past year, and this is outpacing the national average of 3.8%, which is awesome. We have growing industries in healthcare, tech, real estate, and tourism as well. So if you're in any one of these industries, you're definitely going to be able to find a great job down here. The con to our job market is that our salaries are much less. We're looking at an average salary of about $55,000 a year compared to New York's average salary of $73,000 a year. Especially if you're a teacher, or if you are in a public service type of a job, then you're looking at getting a lower salary. So you're going to have to plan accordingly for that. All right, so that brings us to weather and climate. You know, Florida on average gets about 227 days of sunshine every single year, compared to a little bit less up in New York. And this is fantastic. So the pros to our weather and our climate are going to be that you're not going to have to shovel snow anymore. You're not going to have to deal with galoshes. You're not going to have to deal with snow boots. You're going to trade those in for flip-flops to be enjoying the sunshine and the sand, and that's a huge pro for us. The con is going to be you're not going to get those New York winters. You're not going to get those Christmases that you used to have, Rockefeller Center. You're not going to be able to go down to Central Park and enjoy, you know, ice skating in the park, or take a carriage ride around Central Park and deal with that. So those are the pros and cons to the climate and the weather. Okay, so that brings us to our number one pros and cons, which is going to be the no state income tax here. Everybody knows Florida is one of the 9 states across the nation that does not have a state income tax, which makes a huge difference, because if you're making somewhere around the $100,000 mark and you're getting charged a 6% sales tax from your state, then that's going to have a significant impact on your lifestyle. So take a look at that. Another pro is going to be that down here in South Florida, we have more affordable housing. The median priced home in New York is approximately $850,000, which is much more compared to our $600,000 down here in Palm Beach County. So if housing is a challenge for you, if you're not selling something for cash to come down here and buy something, then definitely you want to keep that into account. The housing costs down here are much less than up there in New York. Now, the con to the cost of living difference between New York and Florida is the fact that you're going to have utility bills that are much higher that you may not expect, as well as your homeowner's insurance costs being a lot higher than what you're used to because of all of the hurricanes and all of the damage that Milton and Helene did and caused. Our insurance costs are looking to go up even more, and so that is definitely a cost that is going to be endured by all of us who are homeowners. So take that into account. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to look at all the pros and cons of relocating to Florida from New York. My name is Vinny, your South Florida realtor. If you want to get a hold of me, you can reach me at this number right here, 561-320-4433. It's my direct line and I answer every time. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I'll respond to them. I hope you found some value in this. Give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and I will see you on the next video. I can't wait to help you start living your Florida dream.